everybody. Thanks for joining us for the Bike Hub Because Bikes podcast. I'm Chris Andresen. This is my friend Josh.
Hi.
It's my other friend John.
Hey.
We do bikes. We've been doing it a long time. And we want to keep telling you guys a story about the Bike Hub. So our very first podcast, we appreciate everybody checking it out. And that kind of covered our kind of first 3 years of the store, kind of how I got in the industry, how I ended up opening the shop, and kind of the struggles of those first couple years and some of the big wins. But there's a lot of great stories that we didn't want you guys to miss. And that kind of covers this next, basically kind of year 2014 to 16-ish,
Yep.
I'd say.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah.
Oh, I got a fuzzy. Thanks,
Yeah.
man.
Okay.
How's my beard?
It's good.
All right, good. All right, sweet. So I guess 2013, that was about year 4 of the company. We end up deciding to open store 2, our second location. That's our downtown on First and Cedar. And so
Wait 1 second. Just in case anybody missed the first episode and doesn't know.
A recap?
John was there, but he was not there.
Yes.
Yes.
So John has been with the Bike Hub since the very beginning.
Yes.
In the shadows, just lurking in the shadows
Just
like
lurking.
he usually is.
Don't worry, he finally shows up to work in this episode.
Yeah. Later than me somehow.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yes. So, okay, we're good?
We're good.
That was good. Yeah, it's good for people to know. So we partner with Giant Bikes. They have kind of a new program to start kind of helping some of their dealers open some shops up. So this is kind of a partner store with Giant. Some people call those, what do they call them, like a flagship or concept store? Yeah. So it was actually a really kind of a good deal for us that helped us. They helped design the store. Giant had some really neat product that was getting released for 14 that we knew that was going to be pretty awesome. So the timing seemed to work. We found that spot downtown. There had been a previous bike shop there for how many years?
20 years.
20 years there was a bike shop. And so we were like, well, why don't we just do a bike shop there? It's already, people already know it.
Tactically, you would think that is a great idea.
We did.
It is, and it
Yeah.
isn't all at the same time, because you start to learn why they weren't there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
There's some serious challenges with that, but
for sure.
that we'll get into that.
We'll get into that because that was it. So 13, we get the store up and running. It was a really long process. It took a lot longer than we expected. It was literally probably 3 times the amount to open the store than we originally planned
Amount
for.
of work or amount of money?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, both. And we were so behind on schedule. I don't think we got open till late spring, and we were supposed to be open like
I think it was
February
pretty
that
late.
year. And so I was like losing my marbles because there was this money going out like crazy. Like all the things we've got caught up, all the success we had in those first 3 years at a single store, I felt like it was getting drained out of the second store. And I had a couple of people kind of pre-warn me, like, your second store is going to be challenging. It's going to be, and I was like, I get it. I didn't realize what it actually meant, right? And like, so we get the store running, we get it staffed, we got a good crew down there, but we end up not doing much more business with the 2 locations, but we almost double basically our overhead. And so it was really a shock. We didn't hit our numbers down there, and we didn't continue. It actually kind of like basically robbed our customers from one store to another. And so we didn't build anything that year, and it cost us a ton of money. And it was kind of a mess by the time 2013 kind of ended.
Do you think that there's anything you could have done differently? I mean, who was the staff downtown to start with? You were down
Walms.
there,
We had-
Chris Walmsley.
Yeah, me and Walms were down there.
Matt Milne.
Yeah, he kind of showed up a little later. And Matt didn't have a ton of bike experience, but he's just a good dude and did a great job. But Walms, Walms was really the heart down there, and he was down there all the time. He was working his tail off to do that, and he did a good job. It was just a big struggle that first year.
Was it like when you guys opened the door, did you start seeing traffic from the previous shop? Because that shop had been gone for a year or 2 years.
No, months.
6 months.
6 months,
to a year.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you start seeing traffic from that right away?
Yeah. People were, it was more of the Browns neighborhood, I feel like, that would kind of just stroll in that needed that stuff to know. But it really, I guess the the previous shop I was there was a different store than we were. So that we are definitely still kind of a mountain bike shop, right? And we did road and tri, but that community, it wasn't kind of established down there yet. So
Got it.
So yeah, we didn't see a lot of people come through, and it did okay, but it wasn't like what we needed it to do that first year. So.
And then with you and Woms being staples of the Valley store for sure.
Yeah.
Right? So you guys
Exited
you
that.
stole all of your customers from the Valley store.
Yeah, and we took a big hit in our Valley. In fact, I think our Valley store dropped probably 25% in sales that first year that the store 2 was open.
And think of the load on the guys left at the Valley, because I didn't realize that until I had already been here for another year, and I kind of talked to Tim Dunn, who's the manager downtown currently. It had been him, Zach Hettinger, and Alec Josephson.
My manager before Zach basically just up and left me right in the middle of everything, right in the middle of getting that store up and running. And so Zach stepped up. If you know Zachy Hettinger, he stepped up. He was young at the time too, to run a store like that, and he did a really good job just trying to keep it together. Like, we were really tight on buying because I didn't know how much more money was going to go out to get the store opening, so they were literally trying to sell things out of a catalog just to make sales. And so Zach and Tim were like, they made it.
Yeah.
They made it, man, and thank goodness they were there. So thank you guys for being there.
Yeah, that would have been a struggle
So
with the volume that comes through. Like, the amount of people that open the door at the Valley shop every year is insane. So just having a couple people there is pretty difficult.
So we get to the end of that 2013, it comes to a close, rough year of business for sure. I learned that how I started and the success of that first store and location, that single store operations, it wasn't gonna, I couldn't do that again. Like, my single store operations, everything I used to make that store successful didn't work in store 2. So my whole plan had to be thrown out the door. Like, I had to reinvent the wheel because I couldn't be in 2 places at one time, right? And it was really based a lot around myself and the clientele. So you want to talk about how'd you show up?
Well, fall of 2013, so nearing the end of 2013, I was still down the road at Wheel Sport.
With John.
Yep. Still getting along like we always do. And then I started cleaning up my messes at that other store in the fall. I was like, I'm not gonna make it here much longer. Started kind of cleaning up.
That was really nice of you to do.
Cleaning up what I could.
Because you didn't leave us with any messes at all.
That's good.
That was really nice.
That's good. So cleaned up my messes, knew that I was going to be leaving eventually. Put a bike on order with Chris because Giant was releasing their new Trance for 2014, the Trance 27.5 SX, which was sweet. It was all black, like bikes should be. So I got that on order. It was definitely waiting for me in November, I feel like. It showed up really early.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if you were coming at that point. You're just I want that bike. And I was like, well, you can order one if you want to order.
Yeah, and you put it on order, and then it was there. Maybe it wasn't there quite yet, but it was there by the time I quit Wheel Sport. I don't know where I'm at. I forgot. Oh, yeah. So I came on board.
That was like the winter.
That was the winter.
January.
Winter of 13. We had some talks, and Chris had just hired David for downtown in the fall. So in case you guys don't know, bike shops don't hire in the fall or the winter. Maybe the end of winter, but it just doesn't make sense. You literally are losing money at that time. So
every month in the winter.
It doesn't make sense to bring anyone on. So Chris, being the ballsy dude that he is, decided to hire 2 employees in the off season. And it was a pretty big risk, but David had a great background coming from North Division. He is an incredible steward of cycling, for the trails and all of the work he's put in and all the time he's given. And an incredible mechanic with great friends too.
And he's always stoked.
Yeah, he's always stoked, and he just does stuff, and he's just out there doing everything all the time. So that's awesome. So good. That was a good choice.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't realize that was like, you guys came available, and I didn't think twice, but looking back, that was actually pretty risky.
Yeah.
But let's go back. So I need to know the conversation that happens between, so Josh was working at Wheelsport with John, and then ends up coming here. Now John and I are partners, but we're running two completely different businesses. We're only talking maybe every couple months, right? Because we got so much going on in each of our worlds, just trying to keep things going. So I want to hear that conversation.
I don't remember. John might remember it.
The conversation between Josh and me?
Yeah.
I just got a phone call on New Year's Eve that said, I'm out. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I
was tension building? Like, did you see?
There was tension building between my partner and Josh all through that fall. Maybe that whole year, probably.
Yeah. He tried to write me up a couple times for some weird stuff.
Definitely creeping on.
Oh, I think he had me private investigated. Yeah. Which is like funny. It's whatever. They had me sign some bogus like write-up. I remember I had to sign a write-up before for being too creative.
and for putting on races.
Oh, yeah. Sorry for the success I handed
encouraging
you.
the sport.
Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I called John on New Year's Eve, and I was like, hey, man, I just locked the door for the last time.
Oh. What did you feel like? I mean, what was...
That hurt really bad.
But he just goes, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
And that was weird. It felt good to quit. I think I met you. Then you hired me.
We probably had some
You
drinks.
hired me then after I quit.
You needed a job.
Yeah.
I didn't hire you before, though.
No. I just known at some point that I was going to.
We knew
the transition.
We
was
knew
going
the
to happen.
end was near for Josh. I just didn't know what day it was going to happen.
Me neither.
Gotcha. So you now are starting at the shop,
Yep.
2014. What do you walk into?
I took a month off, chilled out for the month of January, then came in February, and I walked into. Well, I needed to get my bearings first, so I came in. I think you guys told me to build a wall in the basement, so I built a wall. Still standing, so
Good work.
there we go.
What wall did you build in the basement?
Oh, it's barely a wall, but
It's in the build room.
Yeah, it's in the build
It's
room.
in the
I
basement.
built-
It's for to hang more of like the rental bikes and stuff. Yeah.
So I did that, which was actually good because it kind of gave me like I had to be down in this. I got allergies bad today. I had to be down in this storage area of bikes, and it kind of that first week let me get a handle on what was in the store for inventory, and it was god awful. There was, which I was really critical of it at that time, but as I learned more about the previous year, as time went on, I learned more about that previous year, 2013, and I learned what the guys were dealing with. That lack of inventory, ordering out of catalogs, doing the best they could to bring in what they could. But there were like different colors of bikes.
There's different years.
Yeah, and like different years and different colors and everything. With the inventory was a mess. The floor was empty-ish, and the downstairs was full. And so week 1, I built a wall. Week 2, I brought every bike upstairs from the basement.
Yeah, we went
every
from
single
like
one of them.
60 bikes on the floor to like 100 bikes on the
Then,
floor.
could you believe this? That Saturday of week 2, we sold like 26 bikes because people could see them.
In the winter.
Yep.
Yeah, in February.
And that was like, it was like, maybe it was the 3rd week, I don't know, but it was pretty soon after bringing up the bikes. And I remember somebody who was working there was like, what are we gonna do? The bikes are too tight in this area. We can't get them out. And I was like, then don't put them back in. Like, sell the bike.
That's right, I remember that.
Yeah, it was.
They were like, we're gonna scratch them, but we take them out, and Josh was like, don't put them back.
Yeah. So then that started off 2014, and basically in 2014, there's definitely more people there, which was great. I had a little bit of fire in me to beat the guys down the street. And I think in 2014, we recovered right back to where the shop was in 2012.
We did, yeah. We actually ended up ahead even from where we were in 12. So
Yeah.
it was a quick, fast recovery that I wasn't expected for sure.
Yeah, we were hustling, which it also helped that Giant released that Trance 27.5.
Yeah, that's a bike to talk about because that was a pretty crazy bike at that time, and it was kind of its own thing. Like there wasn't anything out there like that. They put all of their eggs in one basket in that particular platform.
Yeah, they did.
So 14, the Trance 27.5 bike. So this is one of the big companies getting behind 27.5 wheels. And at that time there was some niche companies doing some models, but not a lot of options, right?
Right. 29
was still looked at as this XC only kind of rig, right? And so 26 still ruled the mountain bike world. So Giant basically develops this amazing bike, 27.5 wheels on it, puts all of the marketing behind the bike of why this wheel size makes sense, and put it out there and killed it, right? Like people listened, and like that, and I think that was the most Giants that had probably been sold out of this town ever. And would we do how many of those trances that year?
Like
would you say
67 of those trances,
yeah,
which
almost 70 of those that model, and that was the carbon and aluminum.
for a $3,000 plus bike, that's a lot of one model of bike.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah, in fact, I don't know any time if we've done anything like that before since that year with like one model.
Did you guys feel that at all from the store down the road?
Yeah.
I don't, because I know that at that time Specialized was kind of struggling with like wheel sizes in general, trying to figure out how to get. We're open. In case you didn't know.
Yeah.
Specialized was struggling to just put a 27.5 plus bike together. So.
Yeah, we felt it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So Josh comes on board, helps cleans up our inventory, gets the inventory flowing. We have now Wams and David, a great crew downtown. Things are doing pretty well. We finally feel like we got our feet back under us again, and things are going in the right direction. And
we also filled the store with all of the proper mountain bike stuff.
that's true. Yeah, that was the other.
That
big
was
thing.
the other thing I did in like one
Yeah.
of my first weeks there. I was like, I'm gonna order like 30 grand of accessories, and you were like, okay.
Yeah.
You said yes a lot at the end of 2013,
Yeah.
beginning of
I didn't have any money
2014.
anyway, so what did it matter at that
Yeah.
point?
I was like, I'll get us a good deal, and we'll put it on terms.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we sold it all.
Which was like Deity.
Deity.
That's always
we
Josh's
went-
first call.
Rock
We went
Shox.
heavy Deity, Rock Shocks. Transition just came along with me when I switched from the other store. I don't know. Maybe they sold some at, you know,
maybe one or two.
maybe, but it definitely like I didn't have to ask. It just moved. Transition just moved along with me.
Yeah,
which is
we
great.
joked about like Josh was the brand, like it just came with it.
It was,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that first year was good. It was really fun. I saw a picture of me from that year though, just like a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, and I was like, damn, cheeseburger and pizza diet was not working for me. Things are better these days.
That's so funny. Cool. Well, we got that first year, that 2014, and we're going to move into that late fall because that's when we find a new friend comes.
Wait,
What?
before we go to
What
fall,
did I miss?
2014 was also the first year of Hubbapalooza.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
When I came to the Bike Hub, we changed the name of the Beacon Race and added an enduro.
Because it was Double Down Hoedown.
Right.
Was the original.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we called it Hubbapalooza, and it, then it got way bigger after that. It was
Yeah, we
a lot
added
of
the
fun.
enduro. That was a great year.
Yep.
That's when we were still doing stopwatch timing
Yeah.
in an enduro.
Yeah.
That was a
that
lot
was-
of work.
That was a lot of work, but
Yeah.
there were no missed times.
No, we did it.
Yeah.
It was horrible. So we are getting through 2014. Things are going good. Like we're feeling like we got the race. We had all this new inventory and product. Like it felt like old times, right? It felt like back in the early days of building that mountain bike scene again. Like, and it felt good. Like that was a pretty exciting time when you came on board, just because when we usually we're pretty good at working together and like coming up with solutions. So it was fun to get that creativity going again on a daily basis. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So the fall comes, and finally, John comes to work at the shop. We've been waiting for him for now how many years?
5 years.
5 years for him to show up to work. And he calls me one day and says, hey, I want to come down and work. You got a job for me? And I was like, yes, I do. Come down here. So I want to hear what that transition. Josh left the end of the year, right, of 13.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're without Josh now for about 9 or 10 months or so.
So Josh left on unpleasant terms with my partner, and I let my partner know that I felt like he had screwed things up pretty badly. And for the next 8 or 9 months, there was a growing rift between me and my partner. There were meetings with attorneys. There were lots of registered mail going back and forth. Finally, I had received a letter on a Friday, a registered letter, and I said, screw it, I'm not going to let it ruin my weekend. I'm going to open it on Sunday night. So had a great weekend working, opened up the mail on Sunday night and basically said, you're fired. So it's kind of a relief, felt good. I think I called Chris that night and said, I might be looking for a job pretty soon. So a few weeks later, meetings with some attorneys, and I'm let go from Wheel Sport. And
Of which you owned.
I did own 49% of it,
Right.
but not 51. Bad mistake when you're 25 years old. Don't make that mistake, anybody.
Yeah.
I took off about a week between jobs and went over to Montana with my family and kicked it with some whiskey and beer and bike riding, and came back to my home on, I think it's right at the beginning of September. And it was great to be with my family again. It was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome when John's first day to the shop, we were all there, and it was like, this hadn't happened now for 5 years, all of us under the same roof doing what we all like to do. And so that was pretty awesome time, I think. It was kind of a sad time, but also a great kind of a new beginnings. But what a crazy kind of position you put yourself in. Because you just transitioned. You just went to another spot. Like it was already ready to go. It was like
My bed was made.
your bed was made.
And if I remember right, there's a lot of people that just came with him too.
There were a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty awesome.
The
A road ride
the
came with you.
Wednesday night road ride, which these two started 15 years ago, and I ended up kind of jumping in and
Taking it over.
taking it over a little
Yeah.
bit. All of those riders, which there are 50 to 75 people in that group. Mark Mims, who had been kind of my leader as well of the bike ride, just put up a post and said, oh, we're not going to start at Wheel Sport anymore. We're going to start at the Bike Hub now. And within a week, the meeting spot had changed, and it's been going strong.
It didn't skip a beat.
No, not at all.
It didn't skip a beat.
That ride is fun.
That ride's amazing, and that was probably 2004 or 5. We got road bikes.
Yeah, so it had to be like 2005 or 6.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
I don't think I had one my first year at the bike shop. Maybe I did.
I had a tarmac.
I
That was a sweet bike.
I might have had some LA or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got it, and then we organized this group ride. But the best part about it, we were downhill mountain bikers, right? We knew we needed road bikes to get in a little better shape to pedal. But you imagine what we look like road riding?
Baggy shorts,
Yeah.
t-shirts, sweatshirts.
Yeah.
It was
a crazy mountain helmet, I'm sure.
I remember the
Rubbing
first-
shoulders and elbows.
Yeah, way too tight. I remember the first time that I succumbed to just wearing Lycra, just not having baggy clothes on, and I was like, what? Free speed? You
Yeah,
get
that's true.
3 to 6 miles per hour. It cost me to wear baggy stuff, like just riding in a parachute so I didn't have to wear tight clothes. That's so stupid. Just wear tight clothes. Go faster. Faster is way cooler than anything else.
So that ride just kept going. After I left in 2009, you just kept doing it, and it kept growing and growing. Every year it got bigger and bigger. And so that was pretty neat to see that transition of that ride just come right over to the shop and then just be a part of our culture, like just perfectly. It was that was neat, and it till today it's still going strong, right?
Not today. But
Oh yeah, not yet.
as soon as we can
It
congregate
will
again,
be.
we'll be doing
Once
it.
we can do group rides again, we'll be back in action with that. So hopefully in the next month or two,
I hope so.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, your group's probably chomping at the bit,
They are.
right?
Everybody's been out riding still, but everyone wants to ride together.
So the ride, explain the ride. So if anyone's listening, maybe if they want to join.
The Wednesday road rides, it's something we've been doing for a long time. It's a standing date from first week of March to the first week of November, 6 p.m. every Wednesday night at the bike shop, at the bike hub in the valley. My policy is if someone shows up, I'll ride with them. So even if it's snowy, rainy, if someone shows up, we'll go for a bike ride.
I seem to remember a little boo-boo coming from a snowy ride, though.
Yeah.
Are you sure you'll do it if you're snowy?
I don't know. I broke my leg on one of the rides.
But you said it's a big group.
When it's nice weather, we'll have 40 to 50 people show up. It's a no drop ride, so we regroup 4 or 5 times along the way.
And there's all levels.
All levels of riders. There's no pressure to be the fastest, well, there is pressure to be the fastest, but no one cares about waiting for someone who's back a little bit. We stop and regroup, make sure every rider's with us before we move on. The goal of the ride is to encourage people to just get out on the roads, learn where they can ride safely.
Yep.
When we ride with 50 people, we have to be real cautious where we go. So it's either low traffic roads or wide shoulder roads, but people can learn those and get out on their own and ride too.
So road bikes, gravel bikes,
Yeah.
right? What about e-bikes?
I'm down for that.
Yeah?
Yeah. If you guys want to show up on an e-bike, I'm good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Be a fun group ride with some e-bikes,
Yeah.
pull you around. Okay, I think we covered quite a bit of that 14. 15, I would say, was
15 was kind of business as usual. We just kept going.
yeah.
Kept on the same pace as like what we had started the year before. It's
Yeah.
good to have John there. Definitely brought some.
I feel like by 15, my old system I started with at the single store, and now we had multi-store. Everything we changed everything. Everything was operating how it should in a multi-store operation. At least I guess not how it should, but we are
was
going in the
moving that
right
direction.
direction,
Yeah.
right? Because it took us, I think, years to really understand.
It took us until like last year, till 2019. I remember last year having a conversation, and I was like, we have to like figure out how to run 3 stores.
Yeah.
Because we were still, until this year even, running all 3 stores a little bit more like a single store operation than we should have been.
Totally.
And it makes it hard.
So it was we've had a learning curve like every single year.
Yeah.
It's a humble pie, right? Just eating a bunch of it, but 15 was great. We're all together at this point, and
Still oblivious in 15. That's what we were.
we were
Like,
still oblivious,
yeah.
but we were selling bikes.
Yeah, and like 16 or 17, we started to realize, oh, wait.
Oh, it's a business.
what-
Oh, this isn't just a giant clubhouse.
yeah, bike shops are a business
and a clubhouse.
as of 2018.
But I think that wraps it up. You guys, anything else want to say, comment, or do before we call this one a go?
Those first few years of me being here, and like the people that came from Wheel Sport and the people who had previously been at Wheel Sport that were at the Bike Hub, like those were really fun years to be with all of those people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, David wasn't from Wheel Sport, but David, Sky,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wams,
Yep.
Zachy,
Yep.
Barry, like John, getting those trips to Hood River that somehow we haven't been able to do since then.
Yeah.
But those things were like great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all of
that was a
us.
blast.
And Tim, don't forget Tim's
And
been
Tim.
here.
Yeah, I
the,
think-
Tim's the
Well, I
longest
think I
standing
said
employee.
he's the
Tim.
aside
longest
from you.
employee. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm the longest sitting employee, he says.
That's what he says. Awesome. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you guys have any comments, questions, or concerns, please always post them. Give us a call. Anything else you guys want to hear from us, we'd love to hear that feedback too. We really appreciate the feedback we got from our first one, and it kind of encouraged us to do this again, which is sometimes hard to sit down and put yourself in front of a camera. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Adios.